Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Tuesday, March 29th, 2022, and I finally did it. I finally removed that crankshaft. But before we talk about the crankshaft, let's go ahead and check out my Tony Live and see if I got any new subscribers. Last time I looked, I didn't. So, 64 subscribers. So, it looks like I'm kind of being stagnant right now. So, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but maybe this particular video will pick things up a little bit and we can, I don't know, hopefully get some subscribers because I'm getting ready to start putting this thing together, you guys. The head's not here yet, but, you know, so you guys can kind of get a look at what I have over there. Look at that. It's hard to believe, but I did do it. That's the actual crankshaft, right? I mean, the block with the crank out and the bearings all removed. You can kind of see right through the cylinders from the other side there, right? So I'm kind of excited about the whole 10 yards, but so there you go. So I don't want to stall on this. That's what the video is all about, is about how I removed it. I'm just documenting it like everything else in this car. I finally did it. I'm so excited that I did it. I got to figure out how to put it back in and get it all going. So let's see. I don't have any timeline in this video or anything. I'm still waiting on the head. So, you know, I mean, that's going to be a couple of days even before I get the heads, I guess. So, all right, let's see. But that's what I'm hoping to do. Hey, remember, you know, click that bell so you get notified when I do these videos, because things are going to start going. I hopefully will start going, and, you know, I'm going to go live. Definitely going to go live when we start this car for the first time. So I really would like to have an audience for that. 64, I mean, hey, why should I complain, right? I mean, who am I really doing this for anyways, right? I'm just documenting the journey. So, all right, so disclosure, you know, I've never done this before. I've never removed an engine from a car before. I've never torn one apart before. I've never put one back together before, and I've never put one back in the car before. So this is a one-time journey. It's not the way that I do it because I've never done it. So this is just the way I'm doing it. There's no special tools or anything. You've got a 17 millimeter and 15 millimeter. You can get this job done. That's all there is to it. Let's see. Let's just get going. I don't know what's next, guys. So let's just get on with this one, and then we'll just see what happens next. Thanks for watching, guys. All right. So now we're going to remove the crankshaft. You know, I've been dreading this moment, but I can't continue without doing it. So this is the crankshaft. Now, there's a specific sequence that we need to take. Let me see if I can get this. I'm wearing gloves, so it's kind of difficult. But there's a specific sequence, so that's the sequence that I have to do in reverse. So that's the torque tightening sequence. And I'm going to instead have to start clear over there at the back of the engine at number 26, I believe that's what that says. This is number 26. Let's see if I can just do it. There's 26. All right, 25 is this one right here. Okay. 24 is this other cap right here. Okay. Then number 23. All right. Now, 22, we're going to move up to the front of the engine. I'm using a little chart here, so I'm marking them off. 26, 25, 24, 23. We are on number 22. And that's this one right here. Okay. 21. 19. No, 2120, sorry. That's why I'm calling it out, you guys. It's 20, now 19. All right. So that's 19. 18 is this. Okay, it's 18. 17. I'm going to actually pull that towards me. I think it might be easier. So I can hold a square on there. 17. 16's right next to it. All right, win. All right. 16. 15. 14. 13. 'Kay. That one there felt a little tighter than the others. All right, so that's 12. And then this one here is 11. Jump to this one. You know, try to get there. It's 11. 10 is right next to it. That's 10. 9. If you want to verify, we can verify. Yeah, that's number 9. 8. 7. 6 is this one right here. Uh-oh. Don't tell me I have to take off the... Yeah, you're going to have to. I mean, I can get on there, but I'm not going to risk it. Now we get back to our nut there. Or bolt, I should say. 6. Yeah. 5. Yeah. 4, right next to it, you guys. You remember that. At least I'm starting to figure it out now. All right, so this one here is 4. Ooh, that one's 4. Okay, then 3. 2. And 1. Ah, man, can you guys believe that? All right. Well, everything is loose. So now what we have to do is keep track of it. All right. I just set this other camera, this third camera up so we can look at this front cap. Because I'm going to take this one off first because I can see everything. I don't know what to expect. So I'm going to take off these. Now, on the tops of all of these, it's stamped. So this is 5, 4, 3, 2. I can't find the number. Oh, there it is, 1. So they're all stamped. So you don't have to worry about that. You already know that it starts 5 in the back, just like the chart shows you. You know, this one right here. Let's see. Pull that up. So, yeah, 5 is the back of the engine. That the arrow's pointing towards the front. So that's the way that is. I try to orientate everything the same way in my things. So I'm going to take this cap off and I'm going to set it down. I want to keep everything together. I just don't want to lose it. I know it's not tight. Okay, go ahead and take this one off. The one next to it. I don't think it's just as simple as just taking that off. You know, if you were looking at the engine, you would be on this side over here. All right, so here's the back of the engine. Here's the front of your engine. And this starts at 5. Well, the 5 is oriented from viewing it from this side. So you know that the cap goes that way. Like the 1, if you looked at it from the other way, you could tell it would be upside down, okay? So that'll help you keep them straight. But I don't know if I'm supposed to hit that or not. You know, I'd hate to hit anything, you know, so early on. But I'm going to go verify and see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off. I mean, we already know we're going to have to take off all these, right? So why don't we just go ahead and do that. And I just put my chart over there, and I'll put these screws exactly how, or these nuts exactly how I took them off. Now what do? You got it all loose. How's it come out? Watch it go knock me out. I don't know how you get those things off there. I can't get it off there. These studs are like $27 to $30 each, depending on where you go. each. Can you imagine that? Or how do I get them off now? So that's the question I have, guys, because I can't get a hold of anything. Nothing I'm going to do like that's going to work. So I guess I need to think about it. I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I'm going to start by putting that like that so it has the least amount of area. It's rubber. Ooh, I did move it. Wow, and I was that scared of that. Well, I see. Even though I moved it, it's hard to get off. So, yeah, so I don't know how you lift it at the same time. But I did get it loose. I know that. You can see it. Watch me go smack myself in the head. Man. It is coming. It's just really hard. There we go. Got it. All right, that one's loose. I'm not going to, well, I can pick it up as long as I keep that. Oh boy, does that look nice. So, well, I can take them all off at once I get it on here. Let's just keep this, everything kind of protected for now. So that's what happens. They just get really, you know, I mean, it hasn't moved in who knows how long. So, just want to kind of see if you can tap it, I guess, a little. Gosh. Can't believe it's that difficult. But it is. You know, I'm trying to lift equally and everything. It's just, well, I mean, it's coming, but really, it'll take me 3 days to get these caps off at this rate. There, cap number 2. Only 2 more left, guys. 2 more. Ah, got it. There it is. Man, once it breaks, it's not too tough, but jeez, up until then. There, that one, look how easy that one was. All right. The big reveal. All right, I think that's a pretty good angle and everything, right? You got the little one over there and that angle. So now we can see what's underneath there. Microphone, I forgot I'm wearing a microphone. Okay, so now of course there's a bearing, right? So on the bearing itself, there's a number, right? It also has the number 1 right there, I'm thinking. There, that bearing right there that comes with this cap. And I don't know if you can tell, but that looks wonderful. All right, so now let's move on to the next one. Cap number 2. There's more surface area on this one, so I think I have my crankshaft pretty well cleared from there, so put my cam came with, or that came with it. And, oh, I should have showed you the other one too. But you can see they're beautiful. Nothing wrong with this. Number 3. Let's see how we want our crankshaft to be. Aha! Well, unfortunately, my battery died here, but I'll tell you what's going on. So I noticed that there was a B on here, on the number 3 cap, and you'll notice that that's got a thrust bearing on it. And, you know, on that thrust bearing, I mean, I'm just looking at it to see, you know, if there's any damage. Everything looks really great, but you see those little notches in the thrust bearing? You know, I'm guessing that that's how they can grind them or whatever, because, you know, this is to keep the crankshaft for when, you know, it's under load, it shifts, it goes from the front to the back or whatever. I don't know which direction it goes, but that's what keeps that crankshaft so it doesn't bang into the walls of the, you know, of your engine block. So that's kind of what that's for. So this is number 4. And, you know, it took me, it was a lot of work pulling these things out, because you have to get it just perfect, because if you'll notice at the bottom of those studs, they're tapered. I'm just noticing that, you know, 139,000 miles, and you can look at these bearings and journals and the crankshaft. Look at that crankshaft. See how polished that is? You know, that's probably normal wear, but I mean, there's no grooves or anything in those things. It's amazing, I think, at 139,000 miles. And all I'm doing here is just kind of, this is what was sitting out. You see all the little stuff stuck to it? This is what, and then that, so in other words, that was a rod, that was where a rod went. And that's a main bearing right there. That's just oil. Those little streaks are just the oil. And you'll see here in a minute, I'll take my finger and kind of rub that spot. But you look, I mean, you can see that, again, that's where a rod would go. There's your main journal, and there's another main, and that main. And then I just lifted it. I thought I'd grab a hold of the one there and pull it straight up. Came out nice and easy. All the bearing caps stayed there. I mean, bearings stayed on the block, which was nice. But I did put a blanket underneath in case they had dropped or something. So removing these, you know, there's one side has a little tab. And so I found the easiest way is just to push from the opposite side. Here I'm basically explaining how the oil goes up that oil galley hole. Only the bearings that are on the block side have that hole, right? Again, I'm just reviewing it and thinking 139,000 miles. It's just, what? This car, the guy, whoever owned this before me, I feel actually took well care of the car and changed that oil regularly. You can see the inside of the block still looks very, very clean. But yeah, you just slide it down from the opposite side of the tab, just kind of push, and it will kind of slide right out. Nice and easy. That's the thrust bearing there. And I'm noticing the, you know, those little notches. I'm guessing, you know, a machinist could make that. You know, maybe they come in a bigger size, and then you can kind of machine it to get exactly what you want, and then that would be the minimum. I don't know, or just how they make them. You know, I'm just kind of showing each one of them so you guys can see that these are just wonderful. If the people, when that chain had dropped, if they would have done it properly, I would have not have even taken the heads off, let alone the whole bottom end. you know, because you can tell this bottom end is in great shape. There's really was no sense in taking any of this apart. Obviously, the front cover we had to do, and the chain, the guides, and the rear cover, that's a gimme. But the heads could have stayed. I would have not. I don't know. You know, they kind of recommend that you take the heads off if you're going to do the front cover, because you end up damaging the head gasket. So who knows? I don't know. The manual says you can do it either way, or at least you can take the cover off without removing the heads. So when I first did that, that's what I was going to do. So now you notice it still has the cross hatches in there, right? To me, that is quite amazing. And it has all the original stamp still there. I just find that to be incredible. Look at that. See all that cross? It's a cross hatch. No bearing spun on any of this. That's for darn sure. But you see those tapered, weird bolts? That's why they're like 27 is the cheapest I think I was able to find them, up to 30 or so. It's unbelievable the price on that. But if one comes out, you know, they say you can't reuse them. I don't know about that. I think all he really did was just put Loctite on it, stick it in there. But those bolts there, if I remember right, are torqued at 30 Newton meters, where the cap bolts are, cap nuts themselves are at 50, plus 90 to 100 degrees. So again, I'm just looking at the main journals here. That looks like, you know, it's got scratches, but they don't. Trust me, they don't have any scratches. What I'm saying to myself here is basically all I think I'm going to do to this is polish it. A shoestring polish is all that's necessary here. I don't think it's going to take any paper, sandpaper at all. Look at that. Do you see anything wrong with that? I mean, that's better than the rods. And the rods just have discoloration. There's no scratches or anything like that. The rod side of that. So basically, all you really got to do is clean things up, make sure there's nothing in any of those oil holes there, you know, that lubricate everything. That's got to be perfectly clear. And when I do clean it, I'm not going to clean it until I'm ready to assemble it, because, you know, these things can rust. Well, now that I realize that my microphone was not working, what I want to do now is I want to look at these closely. I want to see if there's any numbers on here that indicate what it is. Can you see that part number? I don't know. I'm going to take a picture of it. It's 1160604. But yeah, it's going to be a little hard to read. You know, the orientation, all that is all handled for us. All we have to do is just keep all our caps and bearings together. Let's see what number this one is. 1160604. Sounds like the same one. You know what? It says 0686, so these are probably original bearings. 0686. That is an original bearing, and they look that great. Wow. That's amazing. You notice they put those bolts in there. This says 0886, looks like. Could be 0686. '0686. You know, you can still read all those things on the things and everything. I mean, that's how not worn this is. So like I say, we'll clean them up when we make sure everything is right. 0686. I haven't told anybody yet, but I found out that the head that I thought came from a junkyard was actually the original head. All right, so those are our 5 caps. And now really all I'm going to do is just kind of clean things up a little bit. That's all, just a little bit, but I don't want to clean them up quite yet.